Pizza done right is not fast food. Pizza done correctly is slow food. Proper production of pizza dough can take 24, 36, as much as 60 hours for development of the flavors and the textures, depending on what characteristics you're trying to bring out in that dough. We never want to do anything to speed up the process. We never want to add sugar to our dough or add warm water or store our dough in a warm place in order to create carbon dioxide quickly and get that dough to blow up. What we want to do is slow the whole process down so that the full flavors and textures of the dough can be brought out properly. Great pizza dough is very nuanced. The reason for that is that there are amino acids in the dough that are converted during the fermentation process. When you first make a batch of pizza dough, it's very high in lactic acid. And lactic acid tastes very sweet, but it's not a complex flavor. It's a very simple, one-dimensional flavor. When you make pizza dough and you let that dough rise for 24, 36, as much as 48 hours, what you're going to get is a conversion of lactic acid to acetic acid. And the acetic acid is where you're going to get all of those nuanced flavors, that wonderful mustiness, and that bread-like aroma. And you're also going to get all the great textures of the dough as that dough starts to relax. And that can only take place over time. When you first make a batch of dough and you roll that dough into balls, the gluten strands in that dough, the protein strands of the dough, are very short and they're bunched or coiled together, like this telephone cord. They're coiled together, and when they are stretched out, they snap back. So when you stretch your dough, if it has not been fermented long enough, it will have what we call memory. If we look at this dough and I poke it, this is very new, very young dough. I poke it, it has a good memory, it springs right back. This dough has risen for 36 hours, and much like me, as it's gotten older, it's lost its memory. So when I poke it, it stays poked. When I stretch it, it stays stretched. It stays exactly where I put it. If your dough has memory, the most likely source of that is that you haven't let the dough rise long enough. Even if the dough is blown up, it doesn't mean that it's ready to be a pizza. Blown up dough just means that there's lots of carbon dioxide in it. We're trying to achieve more than that. We're trying to make sure that we develop not only the gas inside the dough, but we also develop the gluten strands, and we develop the flavors and the beautiful textures that an artisan handcrafted pizza have as their major characteristic. So we want to honor that dough by taking our time and making sure that we never do anything to speed up the process.